Hello and welcome to the show. It's a new season, 2010, with Outdoors with Rick Ripley. And we've just had about 4 days of rain. Now, whenever that happens, it's a good idea to get to the lake and to get close to one of the brooks because the water is flowing in and all the fish in the lake come to take advantage of the current. Because this current coming in off the brooks is bringing in all kinds of good food for the fish. And living in a lake, they don't have a lot of current to use. So this is a good opportunity to catch some fish. So I'm just using the current. I'm drifting a fly down the current here, and let's see what happens. This should work pretty good today. There's a fish. This is like the one chance you get to do some river fishing in a lake. Get my line on the reel. There we go. All right. Now the water's really cold, so the fish aren't going to be moving. I wonder if this looks like a rainbow trout. All right. I wonder if this guy's a holdover or if he's just stuck. Come here, buddy. Well, that's a decent fish. A nice looking rainbow. Come here, bud. Ah, there we go. That's a pretty fish, huh? Look at that. I think this guy's a holdover. I don't think they've stocked him yet. That's a good 18-inch fish right there, coming out of good old Lake Massapog. All right. Look at that beautiful rainbow trout. That's a good 18, 19, 20-inch fish. I think he's a holdover. Let's release him. There he goes. No worse for the wear right there, I tell you. Let's try it again. But you can see the current, which is really cool. It's coming right in out of the brook, and it's flowing. And within that flow are all kinds of, underwater bugs and nymphs and crustaceans, and all these microscopic food particles that are feeding the larger fish. So, and they kind of just wait in the areas right outside the river here. So that's a good start to the season. It's middle of March, right smack dab in the middle. We just had 4 solid days of rain. So I'm sure when you're watching this, you're going to remember that rain, because if you had basement problems, you're definitely going to remember it. It definitely tested your home, because if you came out of this 4 days of water without a leak, then you don't have a leaking problem in your house, that's for sure. Well, we caught our first trout of the year, which is always a big deal. It signifies the start of a new season, a new spring, a whole bunch of neat things coming up. Then take advantage of this high water. Just talked to Cliff Towner, who manages the lake here, and he told me that this is about the second highest it's been in about 20 years, the level of the lakes right now. So we got a lot of water. I think that's good for going into the summer season. Hopefully that'll help the water table rise a little bit. But I'd like to take advantage of this high water right now from a fishing perspective. And let's go take a look at some of the smaller brooks, and let's go see if we can catch some of those small little native trout that swim around in the brooks that are usually hidden off the side of the road. But now that their water level's up, we can navigate through a little bit, because it's a good way to get out there and enjoy the great outdoors. So let's go take a look at some of these smaller brooks and try our luck there.
Ever since I was a young boy growing up in New Hampshire, I have been fascinated with streams and rivers. I can remember building small toy boats made of wood scraps from our cellar floor and floating the vessels down the little river in the woods of my youth. One day, the little boat drifted into a small pool, and I noticed a large fish suspended in the clear water. I stood still and silent, watching the near transparent fins of the colorful brook trout move gracefully and effortlessly, keeping the fish upright and balanced. I would spend the rest of my life figuring out ways to catch those colorful critters with rod and reel. I remember as a young boy fishing the small brooks and streams and standing on makeshift wooden bridges made of old logs and plywood. I would drift a worm downstream through the riffles until I felt the telltale nibble. When I caught a brookie, I immediately found a pliable sapling to use as a stringer and placed him back in the cold water to keep him fresh before the bike ride home. For the rest of the time fishing, I would spend more time than necessary looking at my prize catch, making sure he didn't float away. You'll need to navigate little brooks, survive thousands of mosquito bites, untangle your line numerous times from the overhanging branches, avoid mud traps, and you'll probably eat a few spider webs along the way. But if you're lucky enough to hold that spectacular little fish in your hands, you'll be looking at a beautiful descendant of a noble fish that once thrived for millions of years in the cold, unspoiled waters of our yesterdays.
All right. It's a nice little native brook trout. I finally cleared myself through this brush and got into an opening. And that's what we want to do. This is a great example of a beautiful native fish. They're not big, but they are beautiful. Man, oh man, look at this fish. This is a beautiful native trout. All right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, look at this. No fish with this coloration comes from a hatchery tank. This fish was born in this stream and is a native brook trout. It's a beautiful little fish. They're not big. The fish in these small streams here in Sharon don't grow very big. Look how pretty that is. Let's get them back as quick as we can without, wouldn't usually be touching them as much. Okay, hold on a second. Here we go. There we go. I tell you, it's hard to maneuver through all this brush in these backwater brooks of Sharon, but these little fish are really something special, and I'm really thankful that I live in a place that still has natural brook trout right in the water. You have to work for it. There's no question about that. It's exercise just to get here. But once you do, you're rewarded with pretty little fish like that. So I'm going to see if I can catch a few more now that I've got through some of this brush and the bugs aren't so bad at the moment. I got another nice fish out of this little pool. See if he's a native. Big as relative. Another beautiful colored fish. Look at the colors on these beauties. Little jewels. Paint job by Mother Nature. That's a little bigger.
Okay, hold it right there. Perfect.
Look at those red and purple spots. The pink spots with the purple halos around them. Okay? Yep. Whee! There you go, buddy. You know, these trout are also really good eating. I'm a little bit sensitive to taking the native trout out of these backwater brooks of Sharon because I want them to spawn in the fall and you know, create more little fish, but those are really good eating fish. Oh wow, I just saw a nice rise down there. I'm going down that stream. Got him. Got him. I can't believe I got him. Wow. That was cool. is so cool. Phew. Beautiful fish. God. Got that shot? Oh man, folks, I'm fishing with old school method here. Very, very simple. Very, very old school. My preference is always to fly fish, if I can. But if I'm walking these little brooks, then sometimes the fly rod is just too long and it's just not practical. The way to catch nice trout in these places is small little rod. It's only a 4-foot rod. One little split shot weight and a hook. A small hook, size 12. Actually, this is smaller than that. This is a size, this is size 10 or 12, 10 or 12 hook. Okay? So everything's small. You're going into a small environment, you bring your scale down. Small rod, thin line, small hook, one split shot, lots of worms. It's old school fishing, but it really works in here. I've got 3 native trout in this one stretch of the brook. Beautiful fish. I'm gonna try a couple more. Again, this is hard work. It's buggy. It's hard to move around in this stuff. But if you can find an open area to catch fish, they're beautiful. Beautiful fish.